visionaries. Welcome to another Monday Night Live training, where your journey to business success accelerates. Join us for insights, strategies, and tools to elevate your business while keeping your budget in mind. It's time to transform your passion into profit. Your host, Corey von Bill-Foster, is about to take the stage. Get ready to be inspired and empowered. The future of your business starts now.
See me. Oh, there I go. All right. I was like, what in the technology challenge is happening here? But hi, guys. Welcome to another Monday Night Live. I am Corey von Bill-Foster, your host. I am just going to make sure I'm letting everybody in here. Give me 1 second. Let's see. How are you guys doing today? Are you having a great Monday? Is it a stressful Monday? Is it, I don't know, but I can't stand Mondays. Like, what type of Monday are we having? I would love to know, because I find that I go through phases, right? There are some seasons of life where I'm like, we doing things. Like Mondays are like, yay, 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 right? And then there's some Mondays where I'm like, I could do without this. I could do without this. Like, it's a little stressful. It's a little much. So I would love to know, like, what season of life are you guys in? And have you, look, this is the question. Have you thought about why that is, right? Because life doesn't just happen to us, for the most part, right? I know, yes, you know, there could be illness, there could be deaths, there could be what have you. But for the most part, you know what I mean? I would say 80 to 90% of the time, we are in charge of our lives. So if you are noticing that every single Monday, you're just having a really hard time finding your rhythm, finding your motivation, finding the excitement in all things work, why is that? Or what could be affecting that? I know for me recently, I started going back to doing like my Sunday resets, and I can't remember exactly why that fell off. It probably was because I wasn't feeling well for a couple of months. Like I was pretty sick with whatever was going around, and I think I was just trying to like survive. Right? If you've ever been in that mode, like I was just trying to survive. And so doing a ton of like meal prep and facials and hair and nails and all the things just was like a no, right? I was like, let me just continue to breathe and to continue to work. But now that I have done, I think this is my second or third week back to doing my Sunday reset, I find that I feel a lot better. I feel a lot better. I don't mean a little bit better. I mean a lot better. The fact that I don't have to think about the meals. The fact that the laundry has already been washed and dried. The fact that I got to soak in a bubble bath and listen to a good book and just relax and have a glass of wine. That I got to do a face mask, y'all. I was like, oh, like all of those things make it so that on Monday, I'm like, well, all the extra stuff has already been done. I can get to business now. And I think that has truly kind of reset my Mondays, right? Doing that Sunday reset. And I used to, like, everybody used to know I was doing that. They would call it my high maintenance to low maintenance day. I would do a whole bunch of stuff on a Sunday so that I could kind of just focus on the things that had to get done. Something else that helps me, and we'll get into the meat of what we're going to talk about tonight in a second, is just planning it out. And when I get overwhelmed, I always think, because I have like a little planner here that sits on the desk, right? But when I get a lot of things, right? It's just a lot. It's like, oh my gosh, so much to do, so little time. I will create just a checklist. I'll put it on a sticky note. I'll put it on a whiteboard. I'll put it in a Google Doc. It depends on how stressed I am, to be honest. The bigger the actual thing shows how much anxiety I have around it. By the time I get to the big whiteboard, it's like, watch out. But I think it was yesterday? Maybe it was Friday. I think it was Friday. I decided to make like a task to do for today, and it was a big list. But when I tell you, I made it not actually for the day, I made it for the weekend. I did not tell everything. everything, because I was like, what we're gonna do, we're not gonna drag this into next week. I might be tired, but we're just gonna get it done. And I was able to finish it. And again, when you're able to knock that stuff out and start your week fresh, you also can look at it with a more positive view. So just something to think about. I know sometimes coming up here on a Monday is difficult, right? Because you're tired. Like you don't want to do one more thing for your business, especially not at night. And on the East Coast, it's already 6 p.m. So some people have already worked a full day and they are eating dinner with the family. They don't want to do not another thing for their business. They want to just rest because it's been a long day. But I encourage you guys to really think about why you feel the way you do about your business, whether it's about a day of the week, whether it's about sales, marketing, anything. Get to the root of it and then create a plan to help you. Just a little quick tidbit there. But anyway, let's get into it, because we y'all ain't here for all of that today. But hopefully somebody out there is like, I needed to hear that. All right, let's get into what we're actually here to talk about today. Every Monday, as you know, at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we do a Monday Night Live, and today is no different. We're going to be talking about how to create content that converts, right? And I tell you guys, I plan these ahead of time, and when I saw that we were talking about this tonight, I was happy because I think it's important, but I was also like, when I wrote these, like when I wrote that, I always change what I'm going to say based on, where we are right now. But when I wrote these, things were a little different. And I looked at my notes and my slides and I was like, we're going to have to change up some stuff. So I'm not even going to be playing too much with my notes. I'm going to just go off my slides because things have changed. And the thing about business is things will always continue to change. And so we're going to talk about content as in right now, right? As in, what's today? March, right? It's in March 17th. We're going to talk about it. If you're watching this, because we put these replays on YouTube, we put the replays in our portal for our coaching students and stuff. If you're seeing this later, some of this stuff may no longer be relevant as well, because things are constantly changing. But before we dive into the meat of everything, I always do like to introduce myself, because we always get new people. Shout outs to the new folks that join us either on Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn or YouTube. Shout outs to you guys for being here, whether you're live or whether you're on the replay. But just a little bit about myself. Again, I'm Corey Fonville Foster. I'm a speaker, trainer, certified business coach specializing in implementation. I'm all about you getting things done. And I'm also the CEO of iRock Marketable Business Solutions, which is a company that supports coaches, consultants, speakers, authors, all over the country, right? From coast to coast and up into Canada. And we really support you in two ways. One, we support you in our coaching services, which are all about empowering you, right? Giving you the knowledge, giving you the resources, the scripts, the templates, all the things you need to be able to set up your business, market it, and get to the sales. And then on the other side is our marketing, where we provide a lot of done for you, right? You're at the place where like, hey, I want to outsource it. We want to be, for a lot of you, the first members of your team. So we do everything from logos, websites, landing pages, emails, VA work, and more. And again, we are here to give you quality, affordable marketing products. So if any of that sounds like something you need, you are definitely in the right place. And again, every single Monday for free, we are right here wherever you are watching, doing these Monday Night Live trainings, where we give you just a bit of information, some food for thought, some resources about how to start, run, or grow your small business. So today we're going to cover 3 main things, and I'm going to move this over so I can see it. Since we're not looking at notes, I don't have to strain my eyeballs as much. All right, so we're going to cover 3 things. 1, we're going to explore cost-effective marketing strategies for attracting new clients. Secondly, we're going to explore techniques to build interest and guide clients forward to take action. And then 3, we're going to understand the key content types that resonate with potential clients. Now, realize that you all have different businesses, right? I can't specifically talk to any person unless you are throwing some comments in, and I will be able to see comments tonight. So if you do comment, if you have a comment, question, concern, throw it in the comment section. I'll take a look. But realize that you have to realize what is best for your audience. I'm going to give you, again, some food for thought, some things to think about, some best practices, but you have to start looking at the data you are seeing, right? The analytics you are seeing, the trends you are seeing within your industry, within your particular audience, to see what's going to work for you. I encourage you to try different things and see what works. And then also take into account, again, where we are now. If I would have done this presentation, let's say this same time last year, it would be very different, because this time last year, you could grow a lot organically, right? Not having to spend any money, creating a Facebook group, doing DM marketing, just posting organically on social media, getting a lot of feedback. However, the algorithms have changed, especially for Facebook and Instagram, whereas Meta has decided not to prioritize businesses for free like they used to. And I mean, who knows why? I'm sure it's just a money grab, but essentially, they are not pushing business content out to people, whether you already have a community, right? We have 2 private Facebook groups, and people will still tell me, hey, I don't get notifications that, you're live. I don't get notifications when we post, like all the things. And it's because Meta has made it harder now to organically, for free, right, get in front of our target audience. So yes, we still want to be visible there, but we also now have to add some additional resources and strategies behind getting to that audience. So sometimes it's not that the content isn't good. It may not even be that the content isn't consistent. It may truly just be that your audience doesn't get to see it, right? They don't see it. And so there are some other things we may have to do, such as creating lead magnets, such as doing more client research and really reaching out to specific people, hosting events, appearing on other people's platforms. Like, you got to do some work sometimes, even paid ads. I would not suggest boosting. I've talked to several colleagues, and we haven't seen any data recently to show that boosting really does anything for you. But I really want you to look at several analytics that go on in your business, not just likes and follows. Because I have people who be like, yeah, people be engaged in my stuff. They be liking and following. If I take a picture of me out and about, or, this or that, and I'm like, cool. Now, based on this, how much converts to sales? And they're like, well, it doesn't. And it's like, okay, well, then I don't care. I don't care. Because at the end of the day, we're in business to be in business, right? To make money, to make sales. And I'm not impressed by big numbers as far as likes and follows. I'm impressed by conversion, right? Period.com. Conversion. How many people show up? How many people pay? So that's what we're thinking about. But we're going to go through it. And like I said, we're going to adjust as needed. And if you guys have any tips, throw them in there as well. What's been working for you? What isn't working for you? What is frustrating you? I want to hear about it. So let's start today with the question. Have you ever spent hours creating content only to have it be, barely reach anybody? Nobody's engaging with it. Like, it's just sitting there collecting dust. I'm pretty sure everybody's like, yeah, been there, done that. Right? It nobody sees it. It's like, dang, I tried real hard. I've done a launch and nobody has signed up before. Back, yes, it happens. You just like, what did I miss? What happened? And crazy enough, when I did a launch, it was actually pretty recent. That's when we started having conversations, like in different communities, about the fact that, yes, social media was kind of suppressing our stuff. Even bigger companies that were used to, getting millions on their launches were like, cricket. Nobody was hearing a thing, because we all found out together through what's going on with my analytics, what's going on with my conversion rates, that something was amiss. And that's why you have to kind of be tuned in. So yes, most of us, probably all of us in business, have spent hours creating something just for no one to see it, right? For it to reach no one, for it to fall on deaf ears. And then what's the last piece of content you created that people did respond to, right? What is your audience like? Sometimes it's a picture of you. Sometimes it's a behind the scenes. Sometimes it's a feature. Sometimes it's, hey, it's my anniversary, or it's my birthday. What was the last piece of content that people were like, oh, this is dope? And take note of that. And if you have more than one, maybe grab the last 5 and actually look at those pieces of content and say, what do these things have in common? What type of content is it? Because that'll help guide you as well. So let's talk about this. Some things we need to know about the content and about things that we should kind of have in mind when we're creating the content, right? So as something I've always said at the beginning before we even market is you got to know your audience, right? You must know your audience. If you are sitting here trying to sell to just any old body, or you're trying to be very general because you don't want to miss out on cash, right? You're doing yourself a disservice. I spoke with a client today and I was like, we got to narrow this audience down, right? We got to narrow it down. Like, who is this? We get to the nitty gritty. Like, where were they when they started working with you? Where are they going to be when they finish? Like, who is this person? What do they need so that we can appropriately address that concern? So even when it comes to posting any type of content, whether it's on social media, whether it's emails, newsletter, blogs, whatever it is, you first have to know your audience so that you can make sure that you're speaking to them. If you're trying to speak to everybody, nobody's hearing it. I always tell people, think about when you pick up your phone, right? Most of us engage through social media on our phones. Think about when you're on your phone, on your favorite social media platform, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Pinterest, and you're just scrolling, right? What makes you stop, right? What makes you stop and say, well, this is cool. What is this, right? Is it colors? Is it fonts? Is it types of pictures? Is it videos? Is it short videos, longer videos? What is making you take time to look at it even further? Because I promise you're not stopping at every single thing you're looking at and be like, ooh, what's this? You're going doop, 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 doop. And then you're like, wait a minute. Sometimes you even go back, like, what was that, right? And this is because somebody knew their audience and they created something for you, right? To grab your attention. So make sure that you're doing that. Make sure you're using strong visuals. The only place that you're not having to worry about visuals is Twitter or X, whatever they want to call it now. That's the only place that you're not worrying about a lot of visuals. Other than that, there should be visuals on everything. I don't care if you have a blog going out. There should be visuals to go with your blog. There should be visuals in your emails. There should be visuals on everything you're making. Why? Because people are attracted to visuals. And again, with the fact that we as Americans, or even just as humans, I feel like it's probably everywhere now, we are getting so much stimuli, so many things thrown at us. We need something strong like a visual to be the first thing that grabs our attention. Now, once you have our attention, then we'll see, the first few lines to see if we're interested. And that brings us to our next point, is having a hook, right? I teach a speech class and I always tell the kids, like, you got to be able to grab our attention in the first few seconds. If you don't have a hook in your posts or your emails, you're going to have a problem, right? I tell people your hook for your email starts really before the email itself. It starts in that subject line. You got to have something strong enough that, again, when they have 100, 200, pieces of email in their email, thing at the moment, it's like, why am I opening yours versus just deleting it? Oh, because the subject line grabbed me. It spoke to me. So make sure you have a hook for your subject lines. Then once the email starts, yes, make sure you have a hook in the email. If you have a blog, maybe I like blogs, but you got to hook me immediately. Maybe it's a podcast. Hook me immediately. Hook me with the title. Hook me with the podcast notes. Hook me with how you intro the podcast, how you introduce your guests. In social media, hook me with the graphic, the caption, something. Make me stop. Right? I want you to feel like you got to yell at your audience and be like, hey, you over there. Make sure you're grabbing people's attention. And then also make sure that in anything you're putting out, there is a CTA, which is a call to action. You need to make sure that you tell people what to do next. Because a lot of reasons you guys aren't converting is because you're not telling people what to do next. Again, I was on a call recently and I was asking, because sometimes we got to get to nitty gritty. I was like, how many people's on your email list? What's your open rate? What's your click through rate? Like, what are these numbers? Because people were like, oh yeah, I got an email list, or it do okay. And I'm like, what are these numbers? Because I really want to know, like, how is your email list really going? Where are you now? Where do you want to be? How can we fix that? I need to know the nitty gritty. Well, with that being said, they were like, oh yeah, they like these types of emails. And I was like, cool. What is your conversion rate after that? They're like, huh? Are you selling anything? And it's like, no. And I'm like, well, that's the issue. If we never tell them buy this, then this is for nothing. I am a big, like I said, I don't care about how many followers. I don't care about how many likes. I do not care about how many shares. I don't care if you have 10,000 people on your email list. If none of that converts to sales, it is pointless. It is pointless. I need us to stop caring about these frivolous things if they don't lead to a sale. Yes, it's cool if you got, 6,000 people on Instagram following you and then you got a 10% conversion rate, then hey, yes, okay, cool. That's amazing. You know what I mean? But not you got 6,000 people following you on Instagram and 0 conversions from it. Then, baby, why do we care? Why do we care? And I'm not saying this to be mean, but I think sometimes we focus so much on those numbers that we're not following the path, because we initially set up, right, the social media, the emails, the newsletters, the blogs, the website, all the things, because we were trying to connect with our audience to get sales. But then when you start to get the fluffy numbers and the hearts and the likes, then you start forgetting why you did this and you get excited about that versus being excited for closing the deal. Okay? You're losing the plot. You got to be focused on the end goal, and that is conversions. I have seen better conversions with people who have smaller email lists and smaller followers on these platforms because they focus on conversions versus people with bigger lists or bigger social media followings who don't have call to actions and are just posting cute little photos and cute little graphics and aren't selling a thing, aren't giving any real value. It's just fluff. Right? Because people will take a moment and hit a cute picture. Like, let it be a cute dog or a cute cat. Click. Let it be a cute vacation pic. Cute. Let me know you went out with your family. Okay. But did I buy a thing? No. Did I think about your business at all? No. And so we got to make sure that we're keeping focused on what the actual end goal is. And then, like I've been saying, and I'm going to keep saying, consistency is always going to be key. The algorithm will be algorithming, right? Things will always change. Sometimes one platform will be doing something, then it'll change. Or, the laws will change. I remember the laws changed about emails, and we couldn't always see who was opening and things. Like, stuff was changing, and they're going to continue to change. Period. Right? But the thing that can help you in the long run is always consistency, because you can adjust, right? You can adjust what you send out and all the things, but being consistent is going to be great. Like, I do these Monday Night Lives, and I'll tell you, towards the end of last year, I was like, I don't know, friend. Like, I don't know if we can keep doing these because I wasn't seeing the conversion rates that I used to. And again, it's because Facebook decided it was going to cut up. And so I was really like, I don't know. And then it always happens. I go to events or I start getting more people on calls, and they're like, yeah, I be catching the Monday, like, people know I be catching the Monday Night Lives. I've had other people tell people in front of me, like, you need to catch the Monday Night Lives, or I need to get back to watching the Monday Night Lives. And I'm like, okay, so we're going to keep these things going. Right? I don't let it take up a lot of my time. I do a lot of pre-planning, but I'm like, we're going to keep doing these because I realize that people appreciate that I actually do them and I'm consistent doing them, and then it converts to sales. I also get tons of marketing clients because they're like, I want to be that consistent, right? Because I post every single day on all of my major platforms except Pinterest, because I just can't. I used to, but it didn't convert to no sales. No, it didn't. So I don't do Pinterest anymore. But we have a blog post that goes out every single week. We have a value email that goes out every week. We post every single day, and we have these Monday Night Lives every single Monday. We've been doing that for over 2 years. I cannot even tell you how many people have, like I said, talked to me virtually or in person and have talked about my consistency being the reason why they want to do business with me. Because people, they connect with you. They want to see, like, if you're doing it, they're like, oh yeah, I need to be with this person. Right? So keep that in mind. It's not just if you sell marketing. If you say that you are a speaker and you barely ever post you speaking, why would I think that you're, going to help me be a better speaker, or that I should book you for speaking? You're rarely apparently being booked because you don't post about it. So we got to be strategic about these kinds of things and make sure that we are consistent when putting out the content. I didn't say you had to be booked all the time. I said you got to be consistent about putting it out into the world. You can always recycle something, put it out again, repurpose it. But you need to be showing up consistently for your audience. All right. How do you make your content stand out in a sea of similar posts? Right. And part of it is finding your own kind of thing, because trends do work, especially if you're like TikTok, Instagram, if you're doing a lot of video content, trends do work. And it is important to be able to jump on some trends here and there. But you also have to be uniquely you, right? Because some people are not following you because of a trend. Some people are following you because of the type of industry you're in, the type of business you have, and they're going to be more connected to your personality. But also be aware of what's going on well in the marketplace. Because when like reels first came out, some people really slept on that. And it's like, no, they took off. The algorithm was really pushing reels, and the people who were doing it and doing it consistently and doing it well really had their audiences grow. People who sat back in the pocket did not have that same experience. So make sure that you're thinking about how you can stand out amongst others in your industry. So let's talk about some things that can help you with this. One, storytelling. Only you can tell your story, right? Only you. So it's not even a struggle to stand out if you're telling your story, because the next person can't tell it. Right? There's something unique about your story, how you do what you do, why you do it the way you do, who you are as a person, the things that resonate with you, who you're trying to help. There's something unique that you can talk about. A lot of us shy away from storytelling, whether it's through video, whether it's through posts, whether it's through email. But I encourage you to. I used to be, personally, I used to be really apprehensive about sharing my story, because I felt like I didn't want people to think I was using it to kind of pull at their heartstrings or make them feel sorry for me, I guess. And it took me a while to get over that and be like, girl, first of all, we're no longer there. So there's no reason for them to feel sorry for you. However, it's like your testimony. Like, people need to hear it so that they have that connection with you, because your audience, usually your audience when you're in the service-based industry, are struggling with something you probably struggled with years ago, right? Most of us got in business, help the particular people we wanted to help because we were them once. And that rings true for my business and most of the clients I work with, right? I was a person that wanted to start a business, or who needed income, right? It wasn't even like in my head, like, I need to start a business. It was like, I need income, and I need to be able to do it on my own terms. That was really what started the shift, because I couldn't work my normal 9 to 5. I had no clue how to be an entrepreneur. I had no money to go out here and take lessons or go to school or whatever. I needed affordable, quick tools to be able to make money based on what I was already good at, right? What I could do. And that's how business was formed, right? My very first business. And then once I learned, then of course I grew and grew and grew, what have you. But I have to tell that story so people understand, like, I'm not just saying, oh, we're giving you affordable resources. Like, no, if it was not for affordable resources being available to me, right, I would not have ever been able to make this company be what it is today. Right. And then when I have clients who are frustrated, like, man, I should have been further along. I talk to them about, hey, because we're doing business this way, right? Because you need time and or money. And a lot of my clients don't have the money or the time. So they're struggling to try to get started. I talk to them about the fact that you may see slower growth. I've been in business for 6 years, 6+, right? I had 2 businesses, and it has taken time. And I have looked around me and seen other people grow faster. But I realized when I hear their story, they worked in high corporate America getting paid good money, right? A lot of them didn't have children, weren't single parents, had family members that could give them loans, had good credit, had investors, right? Had business degrees. I hear all these things and I realize that we are not the same. Right? Not to mention, let's go ahead and throw gender and race in the mix. We were not the same. We did not have the same opportunities, same knowledge, skills, resources available to us. So why would I compare myself to them? And I think that's just something that, whether you listen to anything else I say, it's something to think about. But also, when you tell your story, take it from that point of view, instead of like, oh, well, I'm not a millionaire, so how can I help these people? You don't have to be a millionaire to help someone. A lot of the people that you're helping would really love an extra, especially in the business world, would really love an extra $1,000 a month, $2,000 a month, $3,000 a month, right? And that's where we have to start. So think about what you're selling, right? What you're offering, the service that you're providing, and say, how does my story relate, and how can I connect with people who are where I was several years ago? And don't be afraid to share that. And then also in that same vein, make sure you are giving value to those people. I was telling a client just today, I said 80-20. We're 80% value, 20% sales. Because when we know that when we give value, the sales do come. Right? The sales do come. But if you're constantly just trying to sell at people, who wants that? Could you imagine walking around Walmart and every time you looked at an item, somebody came next to you and was like, you want to buy that? You want to buy that? You want to buy that? You'd be like, let me go. Right? Let me go. Because this is a bit much, right? It's the same thing. But hey, what if you walked around Walmart? Oh, better yet, y'all remember back in the day, I think it was like Food Line. If y'all don't have Food Lines, you may not remember this, but I'm sure it was in other stores. You could walk down the aisle, and every once in a while, there was this little box that would stick out, and you could pull it and get a coupon, right? That thing was cool because it was like, oh, yeah, we'll get that. Thanks, for the coupon. But if every item had that thing, you'd be like, you know what I mean? Like, I want to do all this. I want to do that. So that goes back to when you're trying to connect with your audience, give value. Right? Educate them on the topics that you're an expert in. Give them tidbits, resources, scripts, templates. Give them things so that they understand that you care, that they have clarity around what you do, how you can help them, that they get a little taste, right? Get some information, help them get a win, even if it's small, because when you give somebody a small win, they are really ready to do business with you. They're like, if you can help me for free, this little bit, then I know you can really help me if I throw some money at you, right? Social proof. Don't be afraid to share that you've already helped people. And I know sometimes that can be difficult, or it seems difficult when you're just starting out. But what I have found to be probably closer to the rule than the exception to the rule is that most of you, even if you don't have paid testimonials, like people who paid you to work for them, a lot of you have been doing this for free, right? You just haven't asked anybody who you helped to write it down or create a video. So ask those people to write it down, to send a video. Don't expect that people will do it on their own, right? I've talked about this before. If you have a real bad experience, you're going to find the closest person and be like, oh, heck no, don't go over there. Don't even waste your time. But when you have a good experience, you may tell, one person here or there if the subject arises, right? But oftentimes, if somebody has a good experience, they're like, cool, great, moving on. You know what I mean? Moving on, and it's whatever. So ask people, would you mind giving me some feedback? Would you mind doing a testimonial? Can I share this with the next person, what have you? And then share that with your audience. Because this gives people the ability to see that you're the real deal. There are so many people out here pretending to be the amazing person you are. So make sure that you are taking time to share that real people have had real interactions with your business and they've gotten real results, right? Really great results. And if you do get some feedback that is not great, make sure you actually, take care of that, guys. I've talked about that before. Make sure that if there is room to improve, that we do improve. But anyway, like I said, share your social proof. You can share it as a testimonial. You can share it as a case study, but share it, right? And then when it comes to marketing and when it comes to sharing content and creating content that converts, make sure you also put a little scarcity and urgency in play, right? Not all the time, because that's annoying. But there are some times where you need to say, hey, limited time for this price, limited seats, right? Exclusive deal, whatever it takes, because this is just the understanding of the science of sales. People like to act when they think that they're getting a good deal, right? They're going to act good deal, early bird special, right? Beta test discount, whatever it is. People like to think that they're getting a good deal. And the only way they know that is if you put a little scarcity or urgency around it. Only 10 seats left. Right? And again, don't be gimmicky with it, but usually there is a bit of urgency. You don't want to just say, well, you can just, anytime, you know what I mean? Because what are people going to do? They're going to wait till anytime they feel good and ready, and that isn't going to help them or you. Like when we send our proposals out, I tell people, hey, this proposal is good for 30 days. It allows them to take time because I don't like rushing people. So it gives them time to think on it. A lot of companies don't even give you 30 days, but yeah, it gives you time to think on it and it locks you in that price. And that also rewards you for taking action because if you got the proposal, that means you've already reached out. We probably already had a conversation. And I'm saying, hey, I value that we talked. I value that I think I can help you. I'm going to lock you in at this price no matter what happens for 30 days. And I can tell you, plenty of people will come back and like, hey, I'm coming. And they'll tell me like, and they'll come back and they'll purchase lots of times with that. But then there are also some times where I'm like, hey, I'm only taking 10 people. And this is the day it closes, and people will try to jump on that too. So just think of ways when it comes to selling your products and services that you can put a little bit of scarcity or urgency around it to help you with your conversion rates. And then last but not least, and there are other tools we could discuss, but I try to keep this to about 30 minutes when we already over. Make sure that if you can, make sure there's some interactive elements, whether it's people commenting, whether it's people liking, sharing, voting on a poll, Q&A, whatever it is. Give when you can space for interactive elements because people love being a part of the process, of the discussion, of the community. And that's another way to have higher conversions when you go to actually sell something is people feel like they're a part of it. They're going to definitely feel like they're having an amazing experience, whether they're a paid client yet or not. All right. So do you know which types of content your audience engages with the most? This goes down to looking at your analytics. And I know a lot of y'all ain't looked at them. Pretty much any platform that you use in business has places for analytics, whether you're scheduling the content, whether you're posting it on the original platforms, whether you're emailing, as long as you're not emailing like from your personal website, your personal Facebook or something, not Facebook, Jesus, your personal email, if you're using something to do your business emails from, websites, anything you're using for business, typically there are analytics available. So please, if you're thinking about content, look at your analytics and see who's looking at it. I had a client who had a newsletter and was like, is this really worth it? And I went and looked and I was like, you got a couple of hundred people subscribe to your newsletter. And if you don't know, on LinkedIn, you can actually go in and see who subscribed and who viewed each newsletter you put out, right? And I'm like, why don't you just reach out to people? If they were interested in this newsletter on this topic, you can see it. Why not reach out to those people instead of being like, well, I got a newsletter. It's like, again, we have to remember the end goal. It's not just for the sake of putting things out. It's for conversions. Same with emails. I had people that we've done email campaigns for, and I was like, hey, don't just do the campaign and run it for 30 days and say, well, we did it. Whoever hit us up. I said, go back and look and see, did people open the email? Several, a person, you look and say, okay, how many people opened up? Maybe it's a 5-part email campaign. You see somebody on your list that opened up 4 of the 5 emails, but they didn't buy, but apparently they were interested in the topic. Reach out to that person one-on-one, call them, send them a message on social media, email them privately, like do something because they were obviously interested. You see somebody not only opened your emails, but they also clicked maybe to meet with you, but for some reason they didn't actually book the call. I was like, first, look and make sure your settings are good and make sure you get enough times available for them, but reach back out and be like, hey, I saw that you were interested in having a call. Would love to get you on the schedule this week. Right? They were already interested, but we got to do that extra step to follow through. But we don't know that unless we look at the analytics. So look at your analytics for your posts, right? That's the first step. Pick a platform, pick all your platforms, whatever you want to do, and see where people most engage. See if there's a pattern there, and then do more of that, right? We don't have to make this rocket science. Like, do more of that. All right, let's finish up real quick. So some content types that you could possibly do. If you're like, well, I don't even know where to start, right? One, before we even get to this, look at your competitors. What type of stuff are they putting out? Like, again, we don't have to reinvent the wheel. Success leaves clues. What are they putting out? Don't just copy it, but they all doing reels. Maybe you should do some reels. Just a thought. So educational content's really great. Giving out value, teaching something, giving them tips, resources, what have you. Behind the scenes, people want to see that you're really doing the things you say you're doing. If you say you're always out here speaking, if you're always talking to clients, whatever, in good taste and making sure that you protect the privacy and the intellectual property of your clients, do some behind the scenes. I used to do more behind the scenes, but y'all, it's hard sometimes to go back and edit. Like, I can't do a lot of my meetings because we be getting into the nitty gritty of their businesses and I can't always showcase that. But even if you can't showcase it with sound, you could always put other thing like music on top of it or something like that, but show more behind the scenes. Client spotlights, again, showing that social proof. Make sure it's action oriented, so telling them what to do next, what they should be doing to take action. And then, of course, trending content, what is going well in your industry right now, looking at the trends. There's a lot of platforms that will tell you what's trending. You just have to stay on it, and don't feel bad if you can't keep up with all the bazillion trends. One, they're probably all not related to your business type, and two, it's not necessary. It really isn't. Like, you don't have to know all the latest TikTok dances to do well on TikTok. That's just not how it works. So yes, be aware of some trends, grab some that are appropriate for you if they are, and if they work for you and you can do them. But just make sure you're paying attention to overall what's working and what's expected in your industry. So to recap, we explored cost-effective marketing strategies for attracting new clients. We learned about tools and platforms to help us maximize our marketing budget, right? Because we ain't got a lot of budget, but I already talked, everything I said was pretty much free. Social media, emails, right? That kind of stuff. Discover, ways to build more connection without spending a ton. You don't have to. You just got to be smart about what you're putting out and be consistent about it. All right. So we got one challenge for this week. So this week, I want you to create one piece of content using a strategy that we went over today. I want you to post it and tag us because I want to see you guys do it. I ain't gonna lie, y'all, I get so excited when I see you guys taking action and then I see the growth. I'm like, oh my gosh, today one of my old clients went live, and I always joke because she was terrified to go live, and now I'm seeing lives all the time, reels. I was like, back in the day I couldn't get her to post a picture, let alone posting video and then posting live video. Now she does it like a pro. I'm like, oh my gosh, the baby has grown up. So start small, create one piece of content and do it based on, like I said, the information we talked about, something that's already trending for your industry or something your clients have already been engaging with, and post it and tag us so we can celebrate with you. And if you're sitting here saying like all that is good and well, because again, I know my people, and you're like, but I want help. I want a marketing plan. I want tools. I want somebody else to create this marketing content and stay on top of that. We can help you. And I think I talked about this last week. Stop talking yourself out of things because you think you can't afford it. Right? Because really, sometimes you can't afford not to do certain things. That's just the way it is. Like this year, I remember telling my team, like, we can't afford not to run ads. Like the size of our company, all the things that we have going on, we cannot afford not to run ads, even though ads are a pricey investment. Sometimes I'm in coaching programs where I'm like, I can't afford not to be in the coaching program because of all the resources and connections that I get out of it. So for some of you, you're sitting here thinking, oh, well, it may be expensive, but right now you're not getting in front of your target audience. You don't have any strategy. You haven't been consistent, and you don't even know where to start. You cannot afford not to get some help, whether it's with me or someone else. But I would love to at least chit chat with you, right? I just want to talk to you and see what you got going on, what's working, what's not, what's frustrating you. And if I can help you, I'll let you know how. But if I can't, I'll point you in the right direction. Simple as that. All right. So you can scan this QR code. You can go to this link. Let's connect. And if you've watched this and you got anything out of it, please go ahead and comment, whether you're watching it live or the replay. Let me know the best tip that I gave you, or again, tell us what you're struggling with. I love to be that support, and I will talk to you guys. I'll talk to you guys soon. We will be back here, next Monday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Talk to you guys soon. In the journey of entrepreneurship, success is often about having the right guidance and tools at your fingertips. Welcome to iRock Marketable Business Solutions, your compass to business excellence. We understand that as a service-based small business owner, your path to success is unique. That's why iRock offers a wide range of coaching and consulting services tailored to your needs. Imagine gaining the knowledge you need from the comfort of your own home. Explore our quick on-demand webinars, courses, and toolkits designed to accelerate your business growth. But we go beyond that. Join our vibrant community in our group coaching programs, or experience personalized guidance with our one-on-one coaching and consulting services. At iRock, every program comes with incredible bonuses. These bonuses are designed to support you on your journey, helping you bridge the gap between where you are and where you want to be. Some of our bonuses include expert speaker sessions, group Q&A calls, guides, checklists, scripts, and more. Ready to supercharge your business journey? Explore our coaching and consulting services. Get the guidance and tools you need to reach your goals. Empower your business with iRock Marketable Business Solutions.